Welcome to the Unfolding You podcast. I'm Erin Smylie Walsh, and I'm thrilled to invite you on a transformative journey of self-discovery and faith. Well, welcome to another episode of the Unfolding You podcast with me, your host, Erin Smylie Walsh. I'm so pleased that you've joined us today, and my prayer is that today gives you a little bit of freedom. The title of today is Rest, and it's Unhurring the Soul. I know for me, rest is very difficult. I grew up in a family where my mom was always busy. She just couldn't sit still. If she was in the lounge, she was either knitting or crocheting. She was then sewing in her spare time. She was a teacher. She would have the busyness of her work. And a lot of people have this mindset that a teacher has a half-day job. It really isn't the case. My mom would bring books home to mark. She would have to lesson prep. She did a lot of work in the evenings and the afternoons. And my mom just could not slow down. And it has, unfortunately, overflowed into me, and I know my sisters as well, where rest is almost seen as weakness, and we're not being productive. And it's something I've really tried to not impart on my children, because their rest is good. We have this mentality we always need to produce and be switched on, and that is not good for us. It allows for an unnecessary sense of overwhelm and an unnecessary sense of busyness. So today, I really want you to take Jesus's easy yoke versus this hustle identity that we impart on ourselves. We got to move. Come, let's move. It has been a sense in me that I've really needed to challenge myself to enter a slower pace of life and ease into spaces. Because firstly, it's unhealthy. It imparts adrenal fatigue in me. And we don't need to do everything quickly all the time. So I want to read from Matthew 11, verse 28, where Jesus said, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest." Verse 29, "Take my yoke upon you, let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light." You see, the Lord hasn't told us to carry the heaviness. He hasn't told us to carry the weight and the burden of situations and even just the pace of life. He's instructed us to carry. His yoke is easy for us. Let him carry the burden. Hand it to him so that our yoke can be easy. I want to also read Luke 10, verse 38 to 42. And it's when Jesus visits Martha and Mary. I think we all know this story, but it's just, like hits you deep when you read it again. As Jesus and the disciples continued on their way to Jerusalem, they came to a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. Her sister Mary sat at the Lord's feet, listening to what he taught, but Martha was distracted by the big dinner she was preparing. She came to Jesus and said, "Lord, doesn't it seem unfair to you that my sister just sits here while I do all the work? Tell her to come and help me." But the Lord said to her, "My dear Martha, you are worried and upset over all these details. There is only one thing worth being concerned about. Mary has discovered it, and it will not be taken away from her." Yo, I just feel that like hits me in the gut every time I read it, because how often are we in Martha mode? I know I do this in my house. It's like I become like another person. And I'm like, everything needs to get done. I go into this like complete frenzy of like cleaning and sorting out and preparation. And it grinds my gears when no one else is operating in the state of hurriedness as I am. And I've had moments where I've had to go, "Lord, you need to take me out of Martha mode and you need to move me to Mary mode, because you need to shift my heart and where I'm placing my intensity right now." I think it's this thing of like continually needing to be switched on, and I struggle with it. I am consistently switched on. I'm like in this mode of like, boom. I struggle to shut down. I struggle to give myself ease. And why? Like, no, you do not need to perform for anyone. And like, why is it that even just like being in a quiet time, prioritizing 15, 20 minutes of time to be still with the Lord is seen as a state of wasted time because we're not being productive? And I'm like, all he asks is for us to be at his feet. And we've got this mentality that we can't even take time to just be present with him. I don't know if it's hitting anyone the way it hits me, but like, it's something that has to shift. It's something that has to shift. And I know it comes from this place of, it really is for me, like, it's not what am I running to or using as a distraction. It's what am I actually running from? Is it the discipline? Is it the pruning? Is it the honesty of like what I'm feeling in that moment? Because in the end of it, it's something. So I want us to focus on 3 Unhurry moves. How can we try and change our pace? By putting small moments of practice in our day to intentionally change our pace. Perhaps having the first hour of our day being phone free. I have such a love-hate relationship with my phone. It kills me. I need my phone to work, to be in communication, but it is such a vice because I'm like, I get so frustrated that everything I'm doing is on my phone, that everything I'm doing is related to technology, and that I can't switch off. I've started gymming at a local gym quite close to my home, and I have a 8 o'clock class on a Tuesday and a Thursday morning. It's from 8 to 9 o'clock. And it took me quite a while to wrap my head around the fact that I was going to be uncontactable for that hour. But what it has allowed me to do is just to take that hour as a state of reflection and rest and unhurriedness. And you know what? It's actually been okay. It's been okay that nobody can get hold of me. I think the problem is we go into this mode of like apologizing for not being contactable. But why must we be switched on 24/7? Why must we be consistently contactable? For who? Another unhurry move we could do is putting margin blocks in our calendar. So blocks of time where we go, I'm not looking at my phone, I'm switching off all notifications. Nobody else is going to capture my attention. If that margin block is to walk on the treadmill, if that margin block is to read a book for half an hour, if it's to just go and sit outside with a cup of tea, just not necessarily being in the work, but being in a state of rest. And then breath prayer. With you, not for you. With you, not for you. We have this performance mentality that we got to like be on. We got to be like, boom, always switched on. We don't have to. So the practice I want to position for you this week is to schedule a gentle day rhythm. And you will know what it's like for you. Some of us are going to position excuses and we're going to be like, oh no, I can't have a gentle day. My day is like this all the time. No, you can choose it. I've stopped using the word quickly with my girls, and I've just made sure we have enough time in the morning to get ready. So nobody's needing to fight the fight. Nobody is needing to try and get everyone ready in certain times. We are in a state of unhurried ease in the morning. And then where does my pace preach the wrong gospel? Because sometimes in our hurriedness, we become like a crazy person. We become unkind with our words. We become swift with our actions. Our response can cut like a sword. And that's not who we want to be. You know, we're not displaying Christ-like characteristics. We're not being kind and in our words. And I just feel like that can really position the wrong gospel. So I really want to challenge you to remove one unnecessary yes this week. One unnecessary yes this week. Because sometimes we just overcommit ourselves. We overcommit ourselves to situations that do not actually need us to be there. But again, we feel this performance-driven mentality that we need to just perform and be there. And sometimes the rest is in the no. And that no is a full sentence. You don't have to justify your no. You don't have to explain your no. You don't have to validate your no. You can just say no. And that's going to actually be okay. So I hope this episode has really dug deep for you like it has for me. Because I'm really trying to move from a Martha to a Mary mentality in my daily practice. And I'm really trying to exercise an element of rest where it doesn't feel weighted in the fact that I'm not performing in that rest or doing something productive. The rest is the productivity. And I want to leave you with the hustle makes you faster, but Jesus can make you lighter. We think we need to carry it all on our own, but he invites us to give him our burdens. He invites us to give him what we're carrying, because he says, my yoke is easy. My yoke is light. And so I want to really encourage you to start shifting his yoke, taking on his yoke and giving him your burden. And take this and reflect this in prayer with the Lord, because in the end of the day, we can do nothing without him, even our rest. So I really hope this has encouraged you. I'd encourage you to share this with somebody that is struggling in this space, because I don't think we talk enough about it. I think we carry this like a medal of honor that we don't rest. You know, the busyness is so easy to communicate. And how are we reshifting our mindset and our focus? So may you be challenged in going forward this week. May it become a practice. May you put your unhurry moves in place. Even if you're just practicing one gentle day, even if you're just practicing one no this week, that's a start. So until we meet again, keep well and have a good day. Bye.